Hello, boys and girls. We have a decent-sized stack of packages to open, so yeah, let's get right to it. But first, let's pop a cold one of the drink of unboxing champion, shall we? Gives us the energy to proceed. So this one here, it says Deutsche Post, so I assume it's from it's from Germany. And I have an idea of what this might be, but we'll find out in a second. It's in kind of a flat-ish receptacle here. And what is it? Okay, yep, cool. I'm glad that this came. So this is the Evil Dead, the extended cut, and this is, which actually, so it's got the special features here. Those are in English, and then it's got the flags of whatever country next to the languages here, and it's region-free. I got this one because I have the theatrical cut separately, and instead of... It was one of those things where you get it in like a bundle, you know, with other things, and... you know, so instead of selling that and getting that 2-disc one that is, it can be pricier than it's really worth, I decided to just get the extended cut separately. And so yeah, we've got like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, something else on the back there as far as like the language goes. And yeah, it's just, it's one of those obviously international releases. It's got a lot of, you know, it's got a lot of languages on the back there, but anyway, so there is the disc there. It looks the same as the other one. I'll need to make sure that it is indeed the same one. I mean, it looks like a little bit different than the other one, but I'll compare the two. But anyway, yeah, so I'm glad to have both versions together, and this, I like this cover more than the other one. But anyway, yeah, so I got them both now. Okay, moving right along. This one is from Wellborn, Florida, and this one already has a little tear in it. That's okay. Just proceed here. Yeah, this is the one I thought it was. Good little 2-pack here. It is 500 Days of Summer and My Life in Ruins with Nia Vardalos, who was the person behind My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which I really liked. And I have not seen My Life in Ruins. I did see 500 Days of Summer. I did see that on the big screen when it was new. And, you know, it was one of those things where I remembered, you know, the comparisons to Annie Hall, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. The comparisons to Annie Hall were most certainly warranted. It's not necessarily a full ripoff, and I like the fact that, well, like, analyzing it now that I'm older, I like the fact that it talks about, you know, a idealistic, you know, young man kind of projecting his ideal relationship, like his ideal mate, onto another person that ultimately disappoints him because she can't possibly live up to his expectations, and she has her own baggage that she needs to sort out, and you know, it's something that, you know, is just this inexplicable thing that it's like their stars cross, and yet it's not gonna work out for them in the long term. And it's something that, having undergone that myself recently, relatively recently, you know, it's a crushing feeling, because you put so much into trying to make something work, but it's, I guess, from what they say, it's like you can't make something work. It just has to work or it doesn't. And, you know, I've been guilty of trying to, you know, project my idea of who someone is or could be onto that person rather than just accepting who that person is in and of herself, which, sorry, I'm just taking the plastic off of the spine here. It can be kind of obnoxious. But anyway, yeah. So I don't think a lot of people necessarily look at it through that lens, but I know that Joseph Gordon-Levitt himself said to people, don't idolize his character, don't, you know, hold him up as ideal boyfriend material, because what he does is not healthy, and that's why that relationship doesn't work out. Yeah, so it's an interesting movie to talk about, I think, particularly because people don't really look through it with that lens the way that they should. And if anything, that Netflix series You talks about, in a more extreme, you know, psychological thriller kind of way, talks about, you know, someone who has an overly idealistic relationship idea in his head and is trying to make someone fit that mold, and, you know, and all the unhealthy, illegal, immoral things that he's willing to do to get that person there. So again, I can relate to this in a way now, in a way that I couldn't at the time, and especially that first season of You, I could relate to a little too closely, I think. That's another discussion, though. We got Boise, Idaho right now. What could it be? What could it be? It is something with a slipcover, so already I like it. And it is First Reformed, which was a Paul Schrader film that I saw. How did I see this? Did I see it on... I think I saw it on Amazon Prime originally. But yeah, this was a Paul Schrader film from... Was it 2018? 2017, yeah. It was a Paul Schrader film, and Paul Schrader was the person who wrote A Taxi Driver, and he directed, you know, movies like Hardcore, Autofocus, the Yakuza, tons and tons of films. Did a lot of Bringing Out the Dead. He wrote for Martin Scorsese. A lot of great stuff. A lot of great scripts. But yeah, this one has Ethan Hawke and Amanda Seyfried. They both give amazing performances, and probably the best I've ever seen of either one of them. And this is probably one of the most intelligent films I've ever seen about faith in the contemporary, in a contemporary world that is slowly, you know, it's kind of coming apart in different ways. It's like radicalizing in terms of those who have kept faith. If they haven't, then they've left whatever faith they have. In this case, it's the Dutch Reformed Church, so like the Calvinists, basically, the descendants of Calvinists. And because that's what Paul Schrader was raised Calvinist. And so it's basically like the people that are staying with, you know, Christianity, that they're moving to the fringes, and, you know, people that were in like an older, either, you know, Catholic or Protestant denomination, that they are, you know, fading away. And all of this in the midst of a planet that's being, you know, destroyed via, you know, pollution and wildfires and all kinds of environmental stuff. And it's basically, you know, just how does one deal with, you know, one's faith in, and how does one even conceptualize such a thing in a world that is just crumbling apart that badly on all different fronts. And you know, and it's also just a good psychological portrayal of someone who's, you know, he's lost his son and he's in a fragile emotional state. And you know, it's what you'd expect from and want from Paul Schrader, you know, just a really psychologically rich film. And I think it's just got a lot of intelligent things to say about the state of, well, faith in general, but Christianity specifically in the modern world. It's a lot of tough lessons that not a lot of people necessarily want to hear. So this one is from the UK, Airmail. What could it be? What could it be? It is, oh yeah, this is the They Live, the 4K. Now this one does not have the slipcover, so I may have to track that down separately. I mean, it would take forever if I tried to do a return of this, but still, you know, it's well worth having regardless. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out for it. But yeah, They Live, and it is the Studio Canal 4K edition that you can only find in the UK, and it's got the awesome artwork there. We saw the other three John Carpenter ones that have been released in 4K in the UK. And so yeah, I do wish that this had the slipcover, but I'll look for it separately. Just glad to have this. Anyway, we've got another one that is from the UK. Got a lot of international stuff today. And this one is a Steelbook, and I believe I know what it is. Yes. Alright, so this movie, Jennifer's Body, I think I referenced it when it was a Diablo Cody thing that she wrote that came in the mail. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, it was Ricky and the Flash. Yeah, when that came in the mail, I referenced this film, and you know, this is a film that I really dug at the time. Like, I wanted to see it in theaters, but I doubt that I could have gotten away with, you know, seeing, like, an R-rated movie like this in the theater at the time, because I was, like, by myself, I mean, and especially a horror movie. But then I saw it later. I saw it, like, in 2013, and I really dug it. You know, like, I thought the trailers looked good, and I was not at all disappointed when I saw the movie. I did not get the hatred that this movie got at the time, and I think honestly a lot of it was probably just anti Megan Fox backlash, because she admittedly did get very overexposed and she had such a humongous rise to stardom very quickly with you know, with the first two Transformers films. So I mean, she was like everywhere after having, you know, she was around, but it wasn't anywhere near what it became for her. And you know, so it was such that I guess it was because of that backlash. But then subsequently after Me Too, it got reappraised, and I think, well, I'm better late than never, but I liked it at the time. But yeah, so this one, it's kind of embossed here. I love the pose. I love it better than the standard cover. This is a UK, so it's region B and C. It's not region A, but I have a region free player, and it's a metal pack, so it's not a steelbook, but it's really darn good. It's probably the best metal pack I've ever seen. And yeah, I thought it was really well written. It was really funny. The chemistry between Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried was really good, and I think this movie shows that Megan Fox can act really well if you give her the right material and you give her the right direction. You know, give her a meatier part that gives her more to do, which, you know, you could say that about any actor, but yeah, both of them did really, really well together, and they had great chemistry, and yeah, probably one of my favorite Amanda Seyfried roles. I've been trying to see more of her filmography, partially because of First Reformed, how it impressed me so much with both Ethan Hawke and her acting. I thought that they did really well, much better than I would have necessarily anticipated. So I'm trying to, you know, see what they're all really made of. Next one up is very hard to get open. It is Orcutt, California. There's so, well, because California is the most populous state. There are so many states, or so many cities and towns in California that you're like, I've never heard of that. Well, you know, anyway, because it's so big. But yeah, so this is Bram Stoker's Shadow Builder, which I believe was a 90s film. It's a MVD release, you know, it's a collector's edition there. Yeah, for whatever reason, like, there are certain, this one's clear, kind of like what we saw with the Code Red ones. Yeah, it's, every now and again you find these special boutique lines that are not Scream Factory, and they're not Arrow, they're something else entirely. And it does have the slipcover there, and it does have this, what is it? Oh, it's a poster, I think. It's like it's a teeny tiny little fold-out poster there, but there's what I assume is our demon face there. But yeah, these MVD visual ones, these are ones that are, you know, more off the beaten track, and I don't think there are as many of these, but, you know, I'm trying to see if I can find more of these with the slips. But yeah, so there you go, and it's based on something that Bram Stoker wrote. And of course, he's the one who brought Dracula into this world back in 1897. Moving away all the debris here as we move on. Oh yeah, so this is Best Buy having finally sent me a hopefully not broken version of the Birds of Prey Steelbook, which I guess is I guess it's sold out. So this had better not be broken, because if it is, I'm gonna be pissed. But anyway, because I can't necessarily get another one easily. But yeah, we saw how gorgeous this Steelbook looks. We saw how beautiful Margot Robbie looks as Harley Quinn. We've seen that, but it bears repeating, because such a thing can never get old. You know, you can never say it too many times. And, you know, because it hasn't stopped being true yet. But anyway, so please do not be broken, please. Yeah, so there's our beautiful exterior there. Love the pose, love the colors here. And moment of truth time, everyone. And it is not broken. Woo! Alright. Well, now I can finally watch this like I have wanted to for ever since it came out. You know, I know that, you know, that there's definitely, that's just cool. I'm glad that they worked the hyenas in, because that's from the animated series. You know, there's a contingent of people that kind of came out of the woodwork when this came out to kind of, I think it's just the same group of people that aren't really comfortable with women leading big movies like this, that they all of a sudden got on this anti-Harley train, and it's like, guys, you know, grow up. You know, Harley's a great character. Women deserve a place at the table with, you know, superheroes and blockbuster stuff too, so just relax, okay? Find something more productive to do. And this one is from Cypress, Texas, which I believe that this is from our good friend, I made a point to remember the name so I could say it out loud. It was Exhibek, one of the eBay sellers, the one who does the custom covers. This one, I do believe, should be one that I've wanted for a little while. And of course, a lot of layers of bubble wrap here to get through, but I have my handy-dandy clippers to help me. And this one should be really cool. It'll help jazz up the collection, or this part of the collection anyway. But it is the custom cover for the Taken trilogy there, which I think looks really, really cool. And I'm going to, because I have the discs, there's just the 3 discs, and I am going to, it's just this, this is just the spare case that it comes with, but I'll pop this in. Doesn't that look cool? I think it looks cool. Yeah, so I'm eager to pop that onto the, you know, existing one that we've seen before. And then last one from, oh yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. This is from Shout Factory. And again, Shout Factory, it's taken such a long time for things that I ordered to come here. But again, it's you know, coronavirus, it's like you're lucky it gets there at all in a halfway decent time. Anyway, I got Terror Vision and the Video Dead. I got this because they were going out of print this year. This one was going out of print this year, and I wanted to make sure that I snagged it up before it did. And I've seen James Rolfe's Monster Madness episode about Terror Vision, and it looked kind of, well, not only cheese-tastic from an 80s perspective, but it looked, you know, kind of different as far as, like, you know, a unique concept for a sci-fi monster movie, and, you know, it just, I don't know, it looked like it was different enough to garner my interest. And the Video Dead, I've heard, is good as well because of it, you know, just being, you know, zombies coming out of the TV or something. But yeah, that's some cool interior artwork there if they're not going to do reversible artwork, which they don't when it comes to these double features here. But, you know, there's definitely some cool stuff to be had in here. But yeah, glad to check this out. I know that the look of the monster in Terror Vision is pretty interesting. It looks kind of like a giant booger. And then last but not least, the version of the thing that I wanted originally that I could not find for the life of me for a decent price, no matter how hard I looked. And then a friend of mine just pointed me in the direction of Scream Factory's own website, and it was like, oh, look at that. It's actually, not only are they still selling it, but it's actually for a good price. So, you know, that's nice. And yeah, this is the one that I wanted originally because it has more discs and more features than the Arrow one. As nice as the Arrow one looked, plus this steelbook design is great. I love that they used the thing's final form there. I love the way that they made that look. It's a great film. And the other thing is that the beautiful 4K transfer that we saw when I did my little first impressions review, it's on this disc, this first disc, because that's what made this version special compared to the older Scream Factory release of this one. And yeah, it's just got that quote there on the inside. That's what makes this one special, because the original Scream Factory release was just 2 discs, and it had the 2K scan from 2016, and this one is a 2017 4K scan. Again, not a true 4K disc like the They Live one that we looked at, but still, it looks beautiful when you play it back on your 4K TV with a 4K player. And yeah, so this is a beautiful steelbook. And yeah, that's gonna do it for today. So we got quite a lot of cool things here. I think in terms of coolness, I think well, They Live, you know, it was great to get that in 4K. I want to see if I can't find that slipcover if I can, because I'm a slipcover psychopath. And then I think my favorites are probably, well, the metalpak and the steelbooks here. And thank God we finally got a version of Birds of Prey that is not broken. So that makes me a happy guy. And again, good thing too, because that steelbook, they apparently are sold out of them. So, you know, I'd have been a unhappy camper had that not been shipped to me in one piece. So anyway, guys, that'll do it for now. So just continue to stay safe out there. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, Warp Factor 5, set phasers to stun, and enjoy your drink of unboxing champions, whether it's a delicious Pepsi or something else. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. There's some more cool things coming your way soon.